Hey, Arman here. Welcome to the NSP Nutrition Show, where we cover training, nutrition, supplementation strategies, and a whole lot more. So stand by. Hey, and welcome to the NSP Nutrition Show. I'm Arman Eckelbarger.
Hey, I'm Frank Mills, and thank you so much for joining us again this week for the NSP Nutrition Show. Armin has got another great show for you this week. We're going to be talking about why Armin believes that Vince recommended black cherry juice for the How I Train the Movie Stars program. That's a long sentence, everybody, but hey, we're going to talk about that. And also, we've got a lot of great questions from our audience, and we appreciate you getting those in for the show this week. All right, so let's get started. Armin, another great topic, but a little interesting here. So what prompted you to want to talk about this topic this week?
Yeah, good question. Well, with the NSP Nutrition website, we offer a free 21-day challenge. And so this has basically been taken from Vince's How I Trained the Movie Stars book, and which, he wrote this a long time ago. So we took it from that because it is a short-term get some short-term results. And so the way we did it is it's pretty cool. Everything is set up on an app, and that way you can download on your phone, and it's going to include the nutrition as part of the program, and then the workouts as part of the program, and then it has demonstration videos so you can see what to do, and you can track all of this. You can put the weights that you use and the repetitions that you did, and you can even put notes in there if you want. And then there's a place to do before photos and after photos to kind of see how you changed. So it's really cool. Then what we do is we seem to get a lot of questions as they engage with this process about the black cherry juice, and they're like, they got to go find it, and okay, why are we doing black cherry juice? And so I thought, well, I had to research it a long time ago, but I thought, well, since people are doing this program on a regular basis, I thought, well, let's go ahead and cover it so that this way we could just go to the video and check it out.
No, I think that's good stuff. I think depending on the juice, and you're talking about black cherry juice, right? So there's a lot of good properties, I guess, depending on the juice that you ingest for whatever you're trying to accomplish. But I am kind of curious about the black cherry juice. So I'm thinking, should we start by trying to break down what Vince recommended?
Yeah, that makes sense. So as part of the nutrition side of the program, during the 20-day challenge, he lays out what he calls a Spartan diet, and it's pretty Spartan to say the least, which, a part of it is designed to help lose body fat and help these people tone up their inactive muscle tissue that they have. Because these are movie stars. They don't have a lot of education. They don't know much about training. So he's like, okay, so as he did some research on how he's designing this program, he recommended the black cherry juice, approximately 8-ounce glass of it with the meals. So that was what he came up with.
All right. So why do you think he actually recommended black cherry juice specifically?
Well, if you look up the different benefits of black cherry juice, and it can be tart cherry as well. There's different things it could be, but cherries have a lot of unique properties. So, the black cherry juice, based on what I guess Vince had learned, it has several health benefits, and I believe because he felt that this was going to be beneficial for these people, it would help him to deal with the conditioning as part of getting in shape for a movie. Because it's kind of stressful trying to do all these things at once. You're trying to prepare for a movie, you're trying to get in shape. So anyways, his workout regimen starts out pretty simple to begin with. He's very smart at how he designed it, but it gets tougher and tougher every day. So I think as you're going through, the soreness levels are gonna be elevated. Now, how sore they're going to be, it will vary, but the program, again, when you finish the 21 days, it's a lot. So But that's what he wanted to do, is make you adapt and adapt more and that kind of thing. So with the Spartan diet, it's basically, it was all vegetables, because he wanted to kind of cleanse out your system, anything it's in the digestive tract, before he starts adding protein in the following week. So the first week is no protein hardly at all. So because you're talking about 800 calories is what what would, and it could vary, but that's as a range. So he felt the cherry juice, it's got some sugar in it, and he felt this would help him get through the process a lot better, because
Hmm.
of the demands that are on the body. And this is back in the 50s.
Wow. Okay.
Wasn't There wasn't a lot of like, okay, here's what you do for soreness.
So Armin, exactly what are the potential health benefits for black cherry juice?
All right, so if you can look it up a lot of different places, but it's been studied and its potential benefits. It helps with exercise recovery, and it contains some natural compounds that can help with the muscle soreness. I think that's one of the key things he was looking for, to improve the recovery, get the soreness down, so that you can do the intense physical activity. So that was one step, and then it's also, if you look up the benefits of cherries, they have a lot of anthocyanins and flavonoids, and these help with the antioxidant levels. So antioxidants protect against oxidative stress, which is
Hmm.
caused by free radicals and oxygen. So then the antioxidants have been linked to a lot of health benefits. So it helps with reducing the risk of chronic diseases. So there are some nice benefits there. And then cherries also contain melatonin, so this will help you sleep better at night. So I was like, man, this guy really did his homework. Then the other one is it has high antioxidant levels. So again, we talked about that briefly, but this helps keep the oxidative stress down caused by free radicals. So in a nutshell, when you go through stress, you'll have cytokines that are caused from the body. It either comes from food or the stress. So to offset these cytokines, which are free radicals, you have these antioxidants, which they combine with these free radicals and give up their electron and then neutralize the free radicals. So that helps
Okay.
keep inflammation down, helps get rid of the substance that's it can build up in your bloodstream and cause problems. So, and that's why we have to eat certain foods anyways to help with that. So again, I thought it was just pretty much genius, him finding that and understanding it and then putting it in place.
Well, I'm really surprised at all the impact of this. I had no idea. Are there other benefits as well?
And actually, there are, since it has anti-inflammatory properties to it, it can help with the joint health. And again, when you're starting something out, your joints have to get conditioned as well. So because of that, he's like, okay, well, if they do have any kind of joint issues, or if they start to engage this properly, you're going to minimize potential getting joint issues. And then, like I
Right.
mentioned before, the sleep support, okay, and this helps regulate your sleep wake cycles. And then if you consume in the evening, I think you're just going to sleep better with it because of the melatonin kicking in. So that's another key thing there. Obviously, because it reduces inflammation, it's good for your heart, because inflammation is basically swelling of the body, and when you have swelling, then the blood doesn't flow as quickly, and that can cause elevated blood pressure, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So, and then one other thing is that some of the research states, now I don't know how accurate it is, but it can help reduce LDL cholesterol levels. Um,
Hmm.
if that's something you're looking to do. I think LDL is a different issue these days, but at the time it's like, okay, well, this should fit the bill, and people did it, and we have people do it that are participating in the program, and they seem to like it. They're not complaining about it, and they actually enjoyed the little bit of sugar in the juice, because you don't get anything else.
Well, it definitely seems like the perfect thing to implement with all the benefits, the perfect food. But I'm curious, you know, I think of juice, I think of sugar, fruit has
Yeah.
sugar in it. Are there any drawbacks for using it?
Yeah, I would say that the sugar is an issue. So one thing you can do, if you want to kind of minimize the amount of sugar, you can dilute some of the juice and water. That'll help dilute it. But the sugar is going to cause some insulin to kick up. Now it's a moderate glycemic index fruit, so it's not going to jack your insulin up really quickly. It'll jack it up again moderately, so gradually over a period of time. And then so you got to keep that in mind if you're trying to lose, if you're having elevated glucose levels, then that's something you don't want to do. Now, to me, you'd want to use it on days that you're having carbs with the meal, so that you're getting the carbs all in one eating session, so you keep an insulin more managed. And then with that, if you are dealing with high glucose levels, or you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, then I would say don't take it. You're gonna have to look at something else, because this is not going to really help you with where you want to get to. In my opinion, I mean, you can have other people say something different, but it wouldn't be a good fit for that. So again, if you're in good, robust health, this is not a problem. And also, if you're only going to do this, like with Vince's strategy, it's only 21 days. So, that's when you're taking it. Then you just adjust it to put it in as needed for workouts, or as you get soreness, use it as accordingly for that. So that's how I would suggest you do it if you have high glucose levels and other health issues.
That was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you about, because we've done several shows on diabetes. So I was kind of curious on how that would impact. So I'm glad you answered that question. Let me ask you this, with Vince, he's got a lot of nutrition programs and workout programs that he has designed and developed over the years. Does he mention black cherry juice in his other nutrition programs as well?
Well, I can't say for sure, okay. But I haven't noticed it in a lot of the other nutrition programs. And again, when Vince does stuff, he has a framework to work off of. But if he's actually coaching you and you were complaining about soreness, he would probably tell you for the time being to use it, would be my guess. But the ones that he has described, he doesn't have that in there. He doesn't have it for the max definition diet, and as an example, the bulking diet or anything like that. So I think that he just put it in the movie star one because of the short termness about it. And again, they're not looking to bodybuild like these other nutrition programs are designed for bodybuilding. The movie star is just basically to drop some body fat and get some muscle tone back up as quick as possible. So that's probably why. And again, these are not seasoned training people, so he's just trying to get them through the process so that they don't complain too much. And then, because I'm sure people complain about the soreness, but as an example.
Right. Well, to me, it sounds like maybe NSP should use this show to recommend the 21-day challenge. What do you think?
I think it makes sense. I mean, definitely would help them to better understand, Vince's recommendations as far as the nutrition side. Because I mean, people are looking at this nutrition, and don't get me wrong, it's a Spartan diet, it's all vegetables, but Vince makes a mega salad out of this whole combination of vegetables, and it's a ton of vegetables. Okay. So you're not going to starve. You're actually going to be really full when you eat it all, if you can eat it all. So, kind of keep that in mind. Even though it's a Spartan diet, you do eat. It's a lot of fiber. And what he's trying to do is kind of clear out your system. So, yeah, I agree. And then I think that people are going to like to have something that tastes a little bit sweet with the work that they're doing. So this is something good to help them get through the program. So again, with the 21-day challenge, it's for people who are really kind of just want to get a jump start and just want to kind of get things going. So this can help buffer the stress that they're going through, because everybody has a different threshold of pain that they want to deal with. So I think this would kind of give them some insight. Okay, this is important to take when you're going through this process, and you can adjust it accordingly. So, and again, this was back in the 50s. Okay, so this isn't. So he just maintained it over that period of time. So that's what makes it pretty unique. But in the 50s, it was probably cutting edge.
Right. Arman, I'm kind of curious. You said vegetables, but then you brought up salad, and I was thinking about this when Vince made these mega salads.
Yeah.
Did he put any type of oil and vinegar, any dressings on it?
Yeah, he liked the oil and vinegar. That's really
Oil and
all.
vinegar.
And he would put salt to taste, that kind of thing. He liked the vinegar to give it some flavor as well, with the oil. Again, he had really good recommendations. I mean, he was just on top of his game. He didn't want a lot of excess uh, ingredients that weren't necessary because he didn't want processed food as part of it. He wanted actual state of the art nutrition, and that's what you got. You talk about eating clean. Well, this is eating clean.
That's
In a
awesome.
nutshell.
Awesome. So, wow, you covered a lot of information. As we're wrapping up here, any final thoughts or anything else that you'd like to add as we wrap up the segment?
Yeah, you might want to give the black cherry juice a try to see how you respond to it. If you're dealing with a lot of soreness, or just see how you like it. Again, if you're lean and stuff, it's probably not a big deal. But if you're trying to lose body fat, then I would probably not be as I wouldn't use it as much because of that, because you want to keep your insulin down so you could burn more fat. But if it were me and I was doing it, and I'm kind of new to training, I would probably take it right after training. You'll get a little bit of insulin coming up, which is fine, but take it after training with your meal. And so, even though because the insulin is going to come up in that regard, but that'll also push the nutrients into the cells. So it's not a
Mm-hmm.
bad thing, because it's not a ton of sugar, but at the same time, if you do it, it can help you with your recovery, and that's one thing you want to check on, is it helping you with the recovery. If it doesn't, then probably not a big deal.
Absolutely. The other thing too, which I didn't think about until we are ending the show here, on a lot of people that have issues with kidney stones, tart cherry juice is known to help dissolve those
Oh,
kidney
okay.
stones and help you pass those things and actually dissolve them. Had a doctor tell me that,
Mm-hmm.
and I had them at one time, and when I drank tart cherry juice, it actually helped tremendously make the
Hmm.
size of the stones smaller. So
Awesome, man! I didn't know
yeah,
that. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
good stuff. So all
Good
right,
input there.
well, great segment, Armin. Another great job, great information. Check out the 21-day challenge on
Yeah,
nspnutrition.com for sure.
free. It's
And
free.
yeah, it's free, right? So all right, well, we're going to take a quick break. Stand by for a quick word from NSP Nutrition, and Armin and I will be right back.
Hey, and welcome back to the NSP Nutrition Show. I'm Armin Eckelbarger.
Hey, I'm Frank Mills, and we appreciate you watching the show. We got to talk about the Summer Ready Body, the promotion that's running on nspnutrition.com. If you want your body ready for summer, maybe it's almost ready, maybe you're working on it, but
Right.
right now you buy 2 items and get the third one 50% off. Any supplement on the website, and you get a free tank top on top of that. So how can you go wrong?
That's
Check
a
out
good
NSP
deal.
Nutrition. Absolutely, Armin. You know, Armin, we get all kinds of questions regarding supplementation, working out, diet, nutrition, sleep, everything.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty interesting. This is coming from Mark. Mark didn't say where Mark's from. Mark has history of kidney issues in his family. Now,
Okay.
this isn't a medical show, Mark. This is,
No medical advice.
right. We
Our
we
disclaimer.
aren't doctors, right? But we can offer you stuff that we know of, but we encourage you to do anything medical. Excuse me. You want to seek medical advice or a medical expert. Okay. We are not that. But the stuff that we come up with, that Armin knows, that I know, we've done the research, and it's what we might believe, but that doesn't make it medically correct. So let's put that disclaimer out there right now, because we don't want to suggest something and then it doesn't work for you, because everybody's different. But that being said, Mark's question, he has a history of the kidney issues in his family. He's had kidney stones.
Mm.
and asked, really, is there any foods or drinks that you suggest to keep the kidneys cleansed? So that's a pretty broad area. But
Yeah.
Armin, if you want to take a non-medical whack at that, go for it.
All right. Well, with kidney stones in general, if you're susceptible to them, I will say this, and this is a medical comment, but like my father-in-law had a tendency for those, and so what his doctor did, it told him to take Purinol on a daily basis, which is a very inexpensive prescription to help
Mm-hmm.
reduce the likelihood of ever getting kidney stones, and he never did. So Purinol would be what you'd want to do. What it does, it takes the purines, which come from protein, and helps to clear them out so they don't build up. Is my understanding of it. So the other thing is with kidney issues, and I don't know what kind of issues they are. So again, we're just making assumptions here. Um, you have to watch your protein intake too. So I think digestive enzymes would be good. Make sure you're breaking the protein down so these amino acids are flowing freely and getting through your system. So that's that part. And then obviously there's you can look it up, but there's a lot of things regarding vegetables which help the kidneys. And then most vegetables are going to be beneficial. Like cabbage is a good one. Some peppers can be good. I mean, there's just a lot of different ones that you want to check into. Give that a shot, and then just continue to stay hydrated with water. And I would probably avoid a lot of the different drinks that are out there, unless it's electrolyte drink, because that'll actually work fine for the kidneys. So that's kind of a mouthful. I know that Frank, you had some comments on that because you dealt with kidney stones, so maybe you got some input as well.
Yeah, well, I've tried and it's worked for me. Tart cherry juice if you have kidney stones,
Go
and
figure.
the acidity in the juice dissolves the kidney stone. Now, I'm not saying it dissolved it to where it didn't hurt, but it hurt less probably than it would have hurt.
Yeah, well, a lot of
But
probably
for
pass a little quicker because it shrank would be my guess.
right,
Yeah.
right, moves quicker, gets out of your system. But for kidney health in general, I mean, Armin, we've looked at this when we were looking at nutrition plans and talking about overall nutrition on what we should intake that's good for our body. Everywhere we looked, it's vegetables, cabbage, any greens, anything like that. That's good stuff for your kidneys to flush them. But, really, if you're seeking experience, Mark, I would go see a nutrition expert. I would go see a medical expert.
Yeah, that'd be a
Really
nephrologist.
take
A nephrologist would be your medical expert on kidneys. That would be
there. There
your
you
route
go.
there. Yeah.
So, that's what I would recommend.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like
I
I
agree.
said, we're not medical guys. We'll offer you what we know, but you could ask your neighbor the same question. Yeah. You might get the same answer, but that's what's helped me is tart cherry juice and eating vegetables. That's it. So hopefully that helps you, Mark. Armin, we get a lot of interesting questions, and this individual, I'm assuming is a male, did not include his name or location. Just had a question. A lot of men suffer, and we see the commercials all the time for erectile dysfunction. We see the commercials where it's non-discrete and you get supplements and all these different things. We've seen the testosterone supplement commercials that, are alluding to helping in a lot of different areas. Whoever this person is, we appreciate the question, but what can I do naturally to combat the symptoms of erectile dysfunction? Now, Armin, you've been through all different kinds of things. You've helped clients all over the place in a lot of different areas. I'm assuming you've ran into this. And if you have, do you have any non-medical device for this person?
All right. Well, I need to start with this is if you're having that kind of an issue, you need to have some lab work done. Okay. I mean, just guessing and trying to solve this is not my recommendation. So you need to get a comprehensive hormone panel done that checks your pregnenolone, your DHEA, your luteinizing hormone, your follicle stimulating hormone, because these things these are precursors that help you make testosterone. You need to see what your free testosterone is, your total testosterone. You need to see what your estrogen level is. If your estrogen level is high, which can happen if you're overweight and have a lot of body fat, that can create problems as well. You also know you need to know what your sex binding hormone globulins are because that can affect your free testosterone. So first step, get a comprehensive hormone panel done. That because otherwise you're guessing at best and the results are going to be minimal. So then once you see what's maybe out of sync, then there's supplements that can be taken to improve it. So let's say that your sex binding globulins is elevated. You can take Tonkat Ali, which is a supplement. You can take that and it helps to improve that. And then you have Phaedogia agrestis, which is another herb that helps with improving luteinizing hormone, which helps you to make more testosterone. It helps you generate that as just a couple supplement ideas. But just don't go be taking this until you know that that's where things are. So this is not an easy thing to say to somebody who's just looking for some relief. But once you have data, then you have a better shot at getting the thing fixed correctly so that it will not be a problem long term. And that's what I help my clients with, is not being a problem long term. And if things get out of balance, then we know what to do to rebalance them. But don't go guessing. That's what I want to say. There's no magical supplement or pill that's going to solve for everything. And don't believe anybody that tells you that, because they're wrong. I've already been through this myself. You've got to get an understanding where you are. You're going to need the right medical professional. Now, they may not be educated on supplements. They may just recommend that you do something that's prescription based. I would suggest that you look at both options first. For example, if your luteinizing hormone is low, then one prescription that would be helpful would be enclomiphene, because it can help you produce more luteinizing hormone, which will help them give you more testosterone, which will help with your ED issue in most cases. This is an example. So again, this can get very complex. So I just want to caution people that you have to do it in a way that I'm suggesting. Otherwise, you're not going to get any results, and you could create more problems.
Absolutely. And on the other side of it, just on the medical side of things, just because you're experiencing one thing doesn't mean it can't be caused by other issues that are easily diagnosed and fixed. So, just because you're experiencing symptoms in one area doesn't mean that there could be something else that you need to address as well.
So on that note, I will say this: you need to be getting plenty of sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep, that's a problem. If you have a lot of excess body fat, that's going to be a problem. If you're eating processed food, that's a problem. So those are some things you can work on immediately. You need to watch your alcohol intake, because it affects your sleep. It affects your hormones functioning properly. So you need to make sure your body's functioning at a high level so the hormones can do their work. And if you keep messing with those processes, then the hormones don't secrete, because they're really not allowed to, and they're going to stop doing what they're going to do because you don't need it. That's how the body works. It's a use it or lose it process. So that would be some things I would do immediately, and then get a little bit more sun. That tends to help with your hormones, and do some fasting that can help with hormones. So there's some real quick things you can do, but I still think you need to get a copy of lab work done to really get this thing fixed long term.
I think that's awesome, Arman. And I guess the reason why we always talk about how we're not medical experts is, we're not. We don't want anyone assuming that, right? And we don't want to be responsible for what you do, because everybody's different. Yeah, and exactly. Arman, if you've been watching this show long enough, you've seen Arman continually go see a medical professional and get your blood work done correctly. And there's different ways to do that, but it's something that you've been beating that drum every time we get that kind of a question. And that's really the starting point for anything that you do. Even if you've never worked out before,
Yeah.
that's where you want to start. It's your preparation for success, right?
Well, it works. I mean, and that's why I have it part of my program when I work with clients. I need lab work because I'm not going to guess on what's causing their issues, and it works. And I have experts that I can show them what's going on, and we can find or work on a solution and fix it. So that's really the biggest reason why, because we're no longer just guessing. And
Right.
I just can't, as usual, I can't emphasize that enough. So, but you need the right medical professionals. So that's not easy either. So you need to be shopping thoroughly who you want to work with in that area.
So that being said, if you've been watching this show a while and you felt it's made an impact to you, or you feel it could make an impact to somebody else, this is why we need your comments, your questions, your input for each and every show. So please get that information to us. You can scan the QR code, get it to us that way. You can email support@nspnutrition.com to contact any of us directly, or you can just comment on the YouTube channel and we'll get that information as well. And we really count on that information. And Arman, just by our discussions today, sharing it with one person, you don't know what kind of an impact that could make on somebody's life.
It could definitely help them, in my opinion. I mean, because people seem to be really misinformed on a lot of these things, and I feel it puts you in the right direction. Nothing's ever easy, but the better the information you have, the more likely you're going to be able to solve your problem or your issue for the long term. I mean, we want long-term solutions. So get to the root of the problem, fix it, and then it's no longer a problem. But taking prescriptions just for everything is not to me is not a great long-term strategy. You want to, again, solve the root of the issue.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us for this episode of the NSP Nutrition Show, and join us again next week for a brand new episode of the NSP Nutrition Show.
Hey, thanks for checking out the NSP Show. Go to nspnutrition.com where you can find a whole heap of resources to help you achieve stunning definition and eye-popping levels of muscularity. Don't forget, you can save 10% on your first order by using the code NSP Show at the checkout. Catch you next time.